Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I'm so glad that you are here. Today, we are diving into a question that has affected nearly every student, parent, and teacher in the past few years, which is online learning versus classroom learning. When the COVID 19 pandemic hit, schools and universities around the world were forced to shut their doors almost every night. Suddenly, education moved towards online. For some people, it was revelation, learning from the comfort of home, saving time, and accessing opportunities that seemed impossible before. For others, it was just frustrating experience, poor internet connections, lack of motivation, and the feeling of being isolated, being a screen. But now, as the world has opened up again, we are left with big questions. What did we learn from this massive experiment? Which is better, online learning or classroom learning? And the most importantly, how do we combine the best of both to worlds create something even more effective for the future? That's what we'll be exploring today. So, grab a cup of tea or coffee and let's get into it. So, let's start by understanding what online learning actually is. In simple terms, online education is which we use to talk through internet. It usually comes in two main forms. One is synchronous learning, where classes happen live on platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Classroom. Teachers and students interact in real time just like they would do in a physical classroom, except through the screens. The other one is asynchronous learning, where students work on their own schedule using recorded lectures, online readings, discussion board, and quizzes. This is the model that used by platforms like Coursera, Udemy, or Khan Academy. Now, what makes online learning unique is its flexibility. Imagine a student living in a remote village without access to good local university. With online learning, they could still take a course taught by a world-class professor at Harvard or Oxford without ever leaving home. During the height of COVID-19 pandemic, this became reality for millions in India. For example, more than 250 million school children shifted to online classes almost overnight. In the United States, nearly every university and college adopted some form online teaching. In Europe, online platforms became the bridge that kept education going despite lockdowns. This sudden, large-scale shift gave us a chance to see both strengths and weaknesses of online learning in action. So, what are the advantages? Why do some people say online learning is the future? That's because it has flexibility and accessibility. That's the biggest advantage. Students can learn whenever and wherever they want. Night owls can study late at night, while early risers can learn at dawn. Parents, working professionals, or people with disabilities find this freedom especially so much valuable. Breaking barriers of geography. Online education erases borders. Students in rural Africa can learn coding from MIT. Someone in Sri Lanka can take a business management course from London. Suddenly, opportunities that were once limited by distance and travel costs are available at the click of a button. And cost savings. Let's be honest, education is expensive, we all know that. Tuition fees, textbooks, housing, and travels add up to those things. Online learning can cut many of these costs. Platforms like Khan Academy or MIT OpenCourseware even provide free resources, making high quality education more inclusive. And another one is variety of resources. Unlike traditional classrooms, online platforms can include videos, podcasts, and interactive quizzes, and even simulations. For example, science students can perform virtual lab experiments using software. This makes learning more dynamic and engaging. And another one is personalized learning. Technology allows learning to be tailored of individual needs. AI-driven platforms like Duolingo suggest contents depending on how well you are doing. If you are struggling, you get extra practice. If you are excelling, you move ahead faster. This personalization is much harder to achieve in large classrooms. In short, online learning has shown us that education can be more flexible, affordable, and inclusive than ever before. But of course, it's not perfect as well. Why classroom learning is still matters? If online learning has all these benefits, does that mean classrooms are becoming obsolete? Absolutely not. Traditional classroom learning that has earned for centuries for reasons. It provides something that technology still can't fully replicate: human connection. In classrooms, you are not just learning from the teacher, you are learning from each other. A quick chat with the classmate or with a group or even a joke shared in class can make learning more enjoyable and memorable. This human connections is hard to replicate through online. Another one is structure and discipline. Not everyone is self-motivated. Classrooms get structure. Wake up, attend lessons, complete assignments, and they take exams as well. This schedule builds discipline and keeps students on track. Online learning, with its freedom, can often lead to procrastination. Social development. Schools and universities are not just about academics. They are about sports, clubs, leadership opportunities, and making lifelong friendships. This experience shape confidence, teamwork, and communication skills, things that online education still struggles to deliver. Another one is hands-on experiences. Think of medical students practicing a surgery, engineers building machines, or artists painting studios. These hands-on experiences are essential and can't be fully replaced by simultaneous. Even teachers often say that the classroom allows them to sense when students are struggling or losing focus. Sometimes, nearly impossible to pick up in online environment. So, while online learning offers flexibility, classrooms offer community, structure, and real-world practice. Of course, both systems come with challenges, right? So, challenges of online learning: heavy dependence on technology. Not every student has a laptop, right? A tablet or strong internet connection, and they feel isolation. Learning alone behind a screen can be very demotivating. Procrastination. Without accountability, it's easy to fall behind. Another one is limited practical applications. Labs, workshops, and field trips just aren't the same way through online, right? Challenges of classroom learning: lack of flexibility. Students must stick to their schedules, which can be difficult for those working as adults or parents. And geographical barriers. Living far from a city or university often means fewer opportunities. Higher costs, travel, tuition, accommodation make classroom learning more expensive. Another one is overcrowding. In many countries, classrooms are packed, making it hard for teachers to give individual attention. So neither system is perfect. Each has unique strengths and weaknesses. So in the end, what's the verdict? Which is better, online learning or classroom learning? The truth is, both are essential. Online learning gives us flexibility, affordability, and global opportunities. Classroom learning provides structure, human connection, and hands-on practice. When we bring them together, it's a blended model. We create the best of worlds. A system that allows for freedom but doesn't lose the warmth of human interaction. A system that uses technology wisely but still values the power of face to face learning. So, as students, teachers, or lifelong learners, maybe the question isn't which is better, but rather how do we combine them to make education stronger for everyone. And thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope this discussion helped you to reflect on your own learning style. Do you prefer the freedom of online learning or the energy of classroom? So it's up to you, right? And until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep learning. And see you next time. Goodbye.